mi nombre es Katie y yo soy un bibliotecaria juvenil de Spokane Public Library. Hoy les voy a mostrar cómo hacer flores de papel. Hi, my name is Katie and I am a Youth Services Librarian at the Spokane Public Library. Today I'm going to show you how to make paper flowers. For this project we will need only a few different things. So we need tissue paper, scissors, pipe cleaner, or anything that kind of would tie. So something like a garbage tie or a produce tie that you might get from the grocery store will work. A ruler and a pencil are nice to have but not necessary. What we will need to do first is we're going to make all of the paper cut into this rectangle shape. And so I took the large piece of tissue paper, which is this size, and I kind of created, like I folded it in half, and then I folded it in quarters, and then kind of cut along here and then in half to create these rectangles. And I think they're about 6 sheets. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's whatever you want. The more sheets, the more abundance your flower will have, but if you make it smaller, then it might be a little bit easier. And so this is 6 sheets, but I think will be a nice little happy medium there. So I got this idea from Jennifer Torres, who is an author who wrote the book Steph Soto Taco Queen. And after I read that book, I wanted to know more about Jennifer Torres. And on her website, she had a link to how to make paper flowers. And paper flowers, for her, are one of her favorite Mexican-American folk arts because it's just something that brings a lot of joy when you see all the color that can be there. It can be at festivals and birthdays and parades and lots of other things. And so she demonstrated how to use paper flowers, and I thought that was really interesting. So I thought I would show you how to make some paper flowers. So first we're going to do is we're going to stack all of our sheets of tissue paper all together and kind of want to make it as neat as possible, but if it's a little bit off, that is fine. And we are going to do an accordion fold. So we're going to do about 1.5 inches, make a crease, fold on the other side, crease again, trying to get a little more straight, go back and forth. I have a little bit of extra. So what I'm going to do is cut just that extra piece, but make sure that you're not cutting into the accordion folds because then you'll have a hole. A little bit extra there. And I'm going to fold this in half just so I can kind of get an idea of where the middle is. And now I'm going to create little notches on each side, and this will make it easier to use the pipe cleaner to tie it together. And the more sheets of paper you have, it's going to make it a little bit more difficult to cut these little notches. So 6 I found to be a nice number. And now is something that you get to decide on how you want to adorn the outside. So you can make a cut that's like a diagonal or a circle or something else. So it's kind of like making paper snowflakes. So I'm going to choose to make a little triangle. So I'm cutting into the middle here, back on the other side, and I'm going to copy that on our other side. And this is where, see how the edges are kind of uneven here, but we're evening them up by cutting them. They're all going to be more. There you go. All right. And now I'm going to take our pipe cleaner, and I probably should have done this first before I cut the edges, but so I'm going to put the pipe cleaner around the notches that we created and twist it on the end. This is nice, and this is a good way. You can make the pipe cleaner a little bit longer if you want to, attach it to something on a wall or do something else with it. So now we have this. Now we need to make it into a flower. So we're going to unfan both sides, kind of. Kind of a star, and now we're going to take each individual tissue paper layer, kind of fluff it up, bring it towards the middle. So I think it's fun with the paper flowers that they look a lot like, this one is going to look a lot like a dahlia, and it's interesting to me that these are flowers that you might see at an altar for Dia de los Muertos, and dahlias are in bloom right now. Like they're a fall flower that usually around here you will see people showing them off at the state fairs or the county fairs. And now we have our nice red dahlia, and we can have the stem on the end so I can attach it to anything. If I had put a green piece of paper on the very bottom here, that would have looked more like petals coming off the flower, but I decided to make it all red. You could layer different colors if you wanted to. There's lots of different ways that you can make it unique to whatever your style is. So here I have one that has layers of yellow and orange, and this one is just orange, and I have a rounded cut here on the edge. So triangles, this one has no cut, so it's just a big flower, and then a little triangle. So that is how you make paper flowers. Thanks for joining me today.